Fun fact, I've not driven the truck since before we got the NSX. It's been a very, very long time. Why drive something like this when you can drive something like this? But this morning, I may as well drive her. Anyways, good morning, my friends. Getting a very, very early start today because we got a lot going on with the STI build. The end goal, it's too early, I can't think. The goal is to have this thing completed by Sunday. That is the end of the giveaway, is Sunday night at midnight, and we ain't got much time, and we've got a lot to do. Well, my friends, today is, I guess you could consider it like a cleaning day, cleanup type of day. We're still waiting on a ton of parts to come in, and those hopefully maybe potentially be in later today, but if they're not a big deal because we got a lot of stuff to do. And I think I may go tear this motor all the way down to the bare cases. More on that later. So we have a ton of goodies right here to get cleaned up. A lot of this stuff down here we're not going to be using on the build. Up pipe we're not using. Well, it'd be easier to say what we are using. What we are using are the timing covers, the coil packs, that little bracket right there, and the radiator fans. That is it. So we got to get that stuff cleaned up. And then the bay itself, it's pretty filthy. I'm hoping as soon as we get it all cleaned up, it will look better. As of right now, it is so freaking greasy in here and just disgusting from that leaking rear main seal that this thing really, really needs a bath. So I'm hoping that this cleans up good enough and nice enough to where we don't need to repaint the bay. I think we should be fine. And of course, we have a ton of parts over here that need to be cleaned up. Valve covers, cam gears, the cam shafts, the cam holders, bucket of bolts, so on and so forth. I'm going to start out with cleaning these goodies right here. Starter, radiator hose. Some of this stuff may be recoated, like these radiator brackets right here. A little bit crusty. We might have a powder coat day. The only thing you need to get something like this starter cleaned up is degreaser, well, a spray bottle. I prefer super clean degreaser, and of course, some water. Mine comes from a pressure washer. I always like to spray down the part, let it sit for a few minutes. Let the degreaser do its thing. Pressure wash it off and you're done. You know, it's been a while since we did a good old-fashioned freaking time lapse. I miss those days, you know? Alrighty, I'm down to the intake manifold. Now this thing's gonna be fully stripped down because I do plan on repowder coating the manifold. It's supposed to be this nice wrinkle red, and it's right on top of the motor, so it's very, very important to look good, and it looks terrible. So everything off this is gonna be pulled down. Harness, TGVs, the fuel rail, everything's getting off. I guess I should say coming off, not getting off. Ton of parts over on this table, all cleaned up. Pretty crazy how faded this intake manifold is. But everything else, good to go. Next up, let's see what's going on with this bay. Hopefully, this thing will clean up nice. Because as of right now, man, oh man, this thing is absolutely filthy. The engine bay came out way freaking better than I expected. Factory paint, great shape. I personally do not see a reason to respray it. Let's move away from the body of the car and let's talk about the bottom end. So I've decided to go ahead and tear this short block all the way down to nothing. And the reason for it is because, well, a couple different things. We can check the condition of all the parts. Even though I know this thing doesn't have that many miles on it, there's no way that it does, judging by the condition of everything. I'd rather spend the couple hours to make sure this thing is 100% perfect, properly assembled, properly clearanced, instead of throwing it back in the car and having a problem on the dyno when we slap the bigger turbo on this motor. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and start pulling this thing apart. I'm gonna pull off all the random stuff first. Oil pump, water pump, oil cooler, motor mount, all the head studs can come out, be set aside, and then from there we need to start pulling out the pistons. This is completely different than what you guys would used to be seeing with like an Evo or a K-Series, Honda motor, any sort of inline, pretty much any other motor. You'd pull the piston and the rod out together. Now this, the pistons come out and then the crank and the rods come out together. A little bit weird. This little pair of pliers right here for hoses, I have a couple different, come on, focus. I have a couple different sizes of these things. Man, oh man, they're nice. Pretty simple to use. Just pull off the hose clamp like so. And then instead of trying to get the hose off like this, you know, where you tear the hose and you gotta replace it every single time. Wraps around like that. Give her a nice little wiggle. Bam. Easy money. This is how I know this thing ain't been together for very long. All the ARP fastener lube still on these studs. This thing is fully torn down as much as it can be until it goes on the table. Now if I had a company 23 engine stand, from what I understand, from what I understand, you can build the whole thing on the company 23 engine stand, which would be massive. So this is where it gets a little bit fun. We got to pull this bracket off here.
Hello, Henry.
What's up, Bobby?
Delivery of an ice cold Joe from the one and only Boosted Joe coffee.
This is how nice Bobby is sometimes.
Sometimes.
Gracias.
De nada.
So you think this thing's going to be done in here in 4 days? It's getting a full rebuild.
That is so crazy how gross that looks.
I thought you were going to say how crazy it is that I'm fast.
Yeah, that too.
Great. So we need to pull off this cover here and this cover here on the back side. Unfortunately, one of the Phillips screws from whoever assembled this motor is quite stripped out. So I don't know if that'll be fun to get out, but let's give her a shot. And then these ones are just the Ellen, which always freaking strip, I swear. Yep, that one's gonna strip. Freak, that one's gonna strip. All right, a little bit of heat on the Ellen should hopefully loosen it up. Come on, baby. Aha! All right. We got 2 left that are stripped. So the next best thing is to grab a Torx bit that's a little bit bigger. And hammer it in. So underneath this cover is another plug I'll show you guys with a 12 millimeter Ellen that we got to pull out. But first, let's work on this one here. This little impact driver is going to be the ticket to get these out. I don't think it'll be that bad. Okay. All right. Those 2 are out. Pull that little Ellen out. We have 2 more of those Ellens up front. And now we are ready to pull out some pistons. So if we look in through this hole, you can see the circlip right there. So we're gonna need some needle nose pliers. Grab that circlip, pull it out, and then go in through the other side with like a really long screwdriver or extension and pull that wrist pin out. First clip is out. Come on, baby. Rinse and repeat for the other 3 pistons, and then we can split the cases. Okay, so all the wrist pins are out. The pistons can stay in the bores, easier to get out later anyway. Now we're gonna go ahead and pull all the case bolts out. So we have all these outer ones here, and then we have the main ones, a couple there, 2 in there, and then 6 on this side going in. There is one on the bell housing side, and then one 10 millimeter bolt, well 10 mil head, 6 mil thread underneath the oil pan. So don't forget those 2. Otherwise your cases won't split and you'll struggle all day like I have in the past. So all of the hardware is out. Now we can go ahead, split the cases, take a look at the crank, the bearings, the rods, everything will be accessible as soon as we split the cases. Not an OEM crank seal, that's why it was leaking. So far, crankshaft looks beautiful. Definitely a little bit of wear on the bearings. Normal wear, nothing bad, nothing out of the ordinary, but still, nonetheless, some wear. I'll show you guys here in a second. Let me get everything pulled all the way apart. Overview time. Here's how everything looks. Rods are perfect. They're not bent. That's about all that could be wrong. Bearings, here's 1 through 5. Rods, 1 through 4. Crankshaft, of course, will be repolished before it goes back together. Pistons look very, very nice. Still has the coating on the skirts. That's all the carbon buildup, so that's how we know it wasn't running on for very long, because there's not much. And the block, or the cases down there. Those need to be, at minimum, rehoned and cleaned, hot tanked, flushed, and those should be ready to go, provided the piston to wall clearance is still in spec and they're still round, meaning the cylinder walls, the bores where the piston goes. If those become out of round, then it would need to be bored and new pistons ordered. But I'm assuming, based off we didn't have any failures, that is probably not the case. We now need to go through and get a ton of stuff cleaned up. Of course, the crankshaft and the rods and a ton of these parts are going to go to the machine shop. I don't prefer to drop stuff off all oily and whatnot, but nonetheless, who's ready for another time lapse? Degreaser, compressed air, brake cleaner, pressure washer, microfiber towels are going to be your best friend to get all the stuff cleaned up and all that stuff cleaned up as well. Man, oh man, am I glad that I tore down the short block. So I have a ton of parts over here cleaned up, a ton of parts on that table cleaned up. I was about to go ahead and drop these cases off at the machine shop along with the crankshaft to have gone through and honed and just checked. And then I saw this. I don't know how I missed this earlier, but I did. You see that? It almost looks like water got in here when the car was sitting forever and rusted out that cylinder wall. Now I did grab my little flex hone and tried to hone it a little bit just to see how it would come out. Nah, that thing is absolutely destroyed. So this car is now gonna get a set of new cases, or a new block, I guess you could say. But yeah, I'm very, very happy right now that I went ahead and tore this thing apart. I have no idea how it ran as good as it did. You know, it's a Subaru. Usually Subarus are very, very picky about every little thing, but clearly not, because that's a very deep divot issue, rust out. I don't know what you'd call it. It's just on this cylinder right here, cylinder 2. Very interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video right here. It's late. I'm tired. I'm trying to get this thing done for you guys, but yeah, you can't rush this, because if I would have rushed this motor build, it would have came back out and got rebuilt again with a new set of cases. So I'm gonna go home and go to sleep. Good night.